Perfect. So yeah, um, Ed is a believer, but in this segment, I tell you, I am proud of him because there's some few choice words that he said. I was like, whoa, is it Gary Vee? You know what I mean? Like, but not that much. But what was funny is you're gonna watch him, he gonna actually correct himself. And I actually was kind of like, whoa, he actually said something about it. So, it's all good. It's all good, but just a few choice words. But anyway, I love this personal development because it's incredible. Yes, Miss Charlene, did you have something for
Oh
us?
yeah. Um, Ed Milet, the other like regional director I used to work with here in San Diego, Julian, he would always play Ed Milet. And Ed Milet is from WFG. He like
Yeah.
was one of the
Okay.
founders there, like one of the first like SVPs basically. He
Mm,
has like 450 million net worth.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
hey, he started in network marketing.
He started in
So
network marketing. Yeah. It
that's
was
the thing.
crazy. So yeah, yeah. And I saw personal development. It's not that long. It's only like 12 minutes. But I want y'all to see it, man, because he really spoke to me about what he was saying. Like you could tell it's like a switch that went off in him. Right? You're gonna see it in the video. I want y'all to pay attention to it because it's like the switch, like he started kind of subtle, but then he got real ET-ish, you know. He got real EP. So let me go ahead and play that. I'm gonna cue up the video real quick. Give me a second. I'm gonna cue up the video. We're gonna go to the movies, y'all. As you can see, I was on my LinkedIn doing what I do. All right. So, all right. And Millet, yeah, hey, y'all pay attention. Let's take notes. Try to stay focused. It's only 12 minutes, guys, and we're gonna go to the movie. So let me know if y'all could hear, by the way, because there's been an issue with some of my sound sometimes. So here we go.
All right, cool. I want to talk about you, though. We got 1 hour. We're going to max out this hour. I want this hour to change your life. I want you to never forget it because I want to help you. The reason I want to help you is I am you. I started out in door-to-door sales by mistake, but I did, and it changed my life. I admire what you're doing. I want you to understand that. I know what you're doing. I did it for years. You can track back a $500 million net worth for me now to knocking on doors when I was a 21-year-old kid. So those of you guys in this room with a dream to do something great with your life, and you're kind of average and ordinary, maybe you're not the smartest dude in the world or the biggest dude in the world, but you want to do something great with your life, maybe I can be an example of that. Because I know what it's like not to feel great about what you're doing, to doubt whether you're doing this. And I just got to tell you something. I'm an example this stuff pays off. How many of you have a big dream you want to make come true in your life? Something special you want to do? Okay, me too, and I got bigger ones. Let me tell you what everybody's dream is. Put it in your note. I don't care if you sell pest control, security, solar, insurance. I don't care what it is. Guess what they want? You ready? And guess what you want? You want to be happier. You got to link everything to people's happiness. You think that's ridiculous. So I'm going to kill some termites. They're going to be happier. Yep. They think if you did pest control, at the end of the day, the greatest influencers get the people want to be happier. All of you want to be happier. You think if I become a millionaire, I'll be happier. If I get that baller jet, I'll be happier. If I'm making 100 grand, I'll be happier. If I lose 30 pounds, I'll be happier. If I protect my family with security, my family will be happier. People want to be happier. A couple ironic things about closing and selling that you may not have ever been told before, but I'm going to tell you. People don't have to believe what you're saying. Is that crazy? People do not have to believe what you're saying. In fact, too many of you spend too much time trying to get people to believe what you're saying. And you come across like a beggar because of it. You seem desperate. Who's ever trained you to get people to believe what you're saying doesn't get influence. There's a subtle difference that the great ones know. And you've probably never been told this before, but I know it. And persuasion is not about getting people to believe what you're saying. You ready? Persuasion is about getting people to believe you believe what you're saying. That's a subtle difference, brother. That's a subtle difference, sister. If you start to think through, I need to get people to believe I believe this, not to get them to believe it. People buy things all the time they don't believe. People buy things all the time they don't understand. That's okay. We want to educate, we want to train, but they don't have to believe everything you're saying. If they have to do that, you're going to look like you're begging all the time. They got to believe you believe it. That's a different intention. The most certain person always influences the less certain person. When you're exchanging with a recruiter or a client, they're either going to close you or you're going to close them. And that's certainty. Certainty is influence. And you can't transfer to me something that you're not experiencing for real. You have to really believe it. You got to really be a crusader. You got to really understand it. When you really believe something, you can transfer that certainty to me. Everybody with me on that? Say yes. This is a huge deal. It's a huge deal that you need to begin to understand that persuasion is they believe you believe what you're saying. I love that most people don't take anything seriously. I love that most people aren't coachable. I love that most people don't do what I teach or that anybody teaches. I love that. That's how certain people win. Half of y'all haven't written a damn word down I've said. If you were in my team, I'd slap the hell out of you. I don't say that disrespectfully. I say this as a dipshit who had a Velcroed car. I don't say that talking down to you. I say, wake up! You want to win? You want to be a millionaire? You got to quit being so casual. You walk slow, you talk slow, you implement things slow, you talk a good game like you're going to be somebody, like you're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can't even write a note down. You're going to get your ass kicked in business, dude. Business is a sport. It's competitive. You got to get focused and get in a hurry. You're around a dude like me, we will smash your organization. We come to play. We're for real. What are you? Cool? I've seen all kinds of cool guys my whole career. Cool guys go broke. Cool guys have little flashes in the pan. They have a good 2 or 3 years. Players who implement strategies that get focused and intense, they win decades. They win multiple championships. You win for 2 or 3 years. You know how many guys I've known that have made money for 2, 3, 4 years that are ass broke now? You got to win year after year after year to be a player in business. I'm almost 50 years old, man. I was 21 driving that car. It's a Saturday. I spoke yesterday. I land tonight and go speak for Goldie Hawn tonight. Monday I get up, I've got a loaded calendar. I'm after it. I'm not casual, I want to win. You're too damn casual. You hear me? Wake up, brother. I want you to kind of feel like, man, I want to be a multimillionaire. How do these people think? What do they do? What's their attitude like? I have enough humility to talk frankly with you. I'm a Christian, man. I'm your brother. Let me explain what that means to you. I'm no better than you. Same God that made you made me. I don't love my kids more than you love your kids. If you make a couple of these adjustments, man, you could change your life. You could change your family forever. It's not casual. Your family tree, let's show you know something. You meet somebody wealthy, their family at one point was not wealthy. And then the one shows up. The one. One person changes the family tree forever. In my family, I'm the one. And it wasn't because I wanted it or I hoped for it. Right? Hey, I fought for it. I fight for the inches. Give me the info. Tell me what to tweak. I like that evangelist thing. Man, that stuff about influence is awesome. I thought he was smarter than me. Turns out he's dumber than me. I want to win. I want to fight for my family. I want my mom and dad proud of me. I want my kids proud of me. I want me proud of me. I want to look in the mirror and be happy with the man I look back at, that he gave it everything, that he went for it. Everything he's got. That's what I want for you. I want you to be happy with you, not cool, where you fake it in front of it for everybody here. I mean, when you're alone and you're brushing your teeth, you're driving in the car, you look up and go, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud of you, sister. And you feel it. That's what I want for you. And every once in a while, you need someone to come along and go, come on, let's go. I don't care what level you're at. I'm talking to me as much as I'm talking to you. All kinds of things I ain't doing like I need to be doing. You can change the chapters in the book of your life if you want to. There's a book being written about you. Even if you don't have faith, would you agree someone's probably paying attention to that you're here, yes or no? Yes? You can decide, you and God, or you, and whatever you believe, you're the author. You can turn the page just like Max did on that golf course. I'm no longer that guy. I'm going to walk different, talk different, think different. It might be a year, 2, 3 before you make your putt. It might be a year, 2, 3, 4 before you get your big win. But you could decide now, I'm going to walk, talk, and be a different person. You decide that. You're the lead character in the story of your life. But too many of you let what I call the extras of life dictate where you're going. You know the extras, you watch a movie, at the end they got the lead characters, then at the end it's like cab driver number 2, bouncer number 3. You don't even know their damn names. But in your life, you let those people dictate what you do. You're afraid to knock the door. You're afraid to go for it because cab driver number 2 in your life might reject you. How about you start playing the game for the main characters? Your mom, your dad, your children, you. That's who you play the game for. Y'all hear me? At some point, you got to stop negotiating the price and decide your will to win is not for sale. Here's the truth. Most people's dreams can be bought. With enough failure, with enough rejection, they will sell their children's dreams. They can't still fight. They can get a little bit, but when it gets a little too hot, they go, boom, sold, buy the dream. You can have it. It's not worth it to me. And their will to win is buyable. You can buy it. With a little success or a whole bunch of failure, most people will sell their will to win. Some of you have sold it because you're making a little bit of money. You don't work like you did when you were making nothing. You're not after it like when you were broke. Now you got your 50, 100, 200, 300, 400 measly dollars a year, $1 million a year. Not to be rude, but that would not pay my jet fuel. And you think you're making a lot of money compared to what? But you sold your win for a little couple success. Some of you will sell your win for some failure. You're probably buyable. But if you decide at this meeting, my will cannot be bought, I don't care how long it takes, you can't buy this dude out. I'll keep fighting for my family. I'm the one. I'm going to change my family tree forever. That's the decision. Decide now. You're going to keep negotiating the price, or can you not be bought? Let me tell you something, man. I have this hallucination that when I die, I'm a Christian. Even though you didn't know it from my language today, God forgive me. I'm a sinner saved by God's grace, okay? But let me say something to you. I think when I die, when I meet him, he's going to go, well done, good and faithful servant. But I got this other feeling. I think he introduces us to who we were capable of being, who he made you in his image and likeness, the woman or man you were capable. I think he introduces me, hey, Ed, I want you to meet this guy right here. This is the man I made you to be. These are the places you could have gone. The experiences you could have had, the people you could have helped, the moments, the memories, the way you feel about you, what you could have had, that's the guy right there. And when I meet that dude, I want to go, man, I've been chasing your ass all my life. All my life. And what I want is him to go, bro, I've been watching you. I'm proud of you, man. You caught me. You did it. You got off track a bunch of times, but you kept getting back on track. Every decision I made was to catch that guy. I don't want to get out of this life when I'm an old man and I'm done here and not have maxed out my life. I'm chasing that dude. And to me, heaven would be you catch him. Hell will be you meet that man you were capable of being and you're total strangers. You want to live with that the rest of eternity? Forever? You didn't become the dude. You didn't have the happiness, the peace, the joy, the sights, the moments, the memories, the contribution, the family pride that you could have had. You need to decide. You want to live forever in heaven or hell? And you get to control that. You get to make those decisions. If you'll do all the things that we talked about today, you can change your life. You're in a great industry with great people. This is a great time to be in this economy. And if this Velcroed together Mercedes driving dude can do it, so can you. So can you. The question is whether or not you'll have the courage to step up and fight for your family and do something great. And if you're willing to fight, follow me on social and I'll help you with the fight. It would be my honor to stand with you, man, and your family and just help out a little bit. If I can give you some strength, some inspiration, some tactics, some stuff on the brain, some strategies, I'm here to help you, dude, because we need you to do something great with your life. You were born to do something special with your life. You're not average. You're not ordinary. You were born to do something extraordinary. Amen? I'm over on my time. God bless you. Thanks, everybody. Hey, guys, thanks for sticking around. If you'd like more, click the videos right.
All right.
Ooh.
Ooh-wee. It got real. It got real.
Wow.
And if y'all know what I'm talking about, it did get real about a certain thing that he said that got me. Y'all already know what it is, so I don't even want to go there. But yeah, Ed, you know, he let it. Y'all see what I was talking about though, right? That he turned that moment he turned it up. He was like, oh, you can see the passion that came out. You know what I mean? So with that being said, guys, you know, before I, you know, comment, I just want to ask you guys, who got something from it? What did you get from it? And don't not just what you got from it. What are you gonna do? I think that's what needs to be the question. What are you gonna do now that you done got something? This ain't a time where we just get on here and just talk about, oh, well, it's a great message, this and that, and I learned this. No. What are you going to do about it? Like, what are you changing after this call? What are you gonna change? So anyway, who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Nobody wants to. I was gonna go later on, but I got a lot of things. I think I'm what do you call this? Guilty of everything that he said. I'm denying it, or I'm saying no, I'm not. But then at the end of the day, I think I'm guilty of whatever it is. I noticed, like last night I had a PVC. Okay, I'm gonna give that as an example. I believe what I believe what I'm saying, but I don't know how to. I don't know how to convey that I believe in it, or I'm doing it in the wrong way. But she's interested. But after hearing this, I think I need to change a lot on how I do it, because I want to see that they believe that I believe it. I want to see it in them, in their faces, or in whatever they do, or what the answer to my question after. But from today, I have a 7 and an 8. Tonight, I'm going to do this one straight up. I think that's it. I learned a lot, but I'm gonna follow him. When this is the first time I've heard it, but
Absolutely,
okay.
Man. That's what I'm talking about, Ms. Joy. I'm, what I think, and I'm so glad you said that. The main thing is to really be honest with yourself. You guys, if you know me, that's one of the things I value the most, is just to try to be honest with myself. I don't want to lie. I don't want to sit here and sugarcoat myself, because you can't lie to yourself in a mirror. But I'm glad you said that, Ms. Joy, because I think that is my mentality when I get on these calls. Sometimes when I get to present, I'm gonna say this and it's gonna sound real funny, but when I get ready to present or do a training, I literally say to myself, I'm gonna give it to these people. I'm gonna give it to them. That's what I say before I do a presentation. I'm gonna give it to them. I don't care what they say. And so if you have that mentality and you're so confident in what you're doing, it'll show. You don't even have to worry if you did, it'll show, Ms. Joy. And so tonight, when you get on them PVCs, give it to them. Okay, give it to them.
I will.
So no, thank you again for sharing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for showing it. The video, I really didn't know about him, but I will.
Yes. Anybody who's next?
Yeah, I don't know too much about the guy who was just speaking. What was his name again? I'm sorry, I didn't catch his name.
Ed Mylett.
Ed Mylett. Yeah, I don't know too much, but he's like a linebacker coach or something. Like you can tell he played football, man. He's got that football mentality in him, but he's very motivated. He's very motivated speaker and things like that. So I got a lot of motivation from him, and some of the things that he was saying, I'm used to, hearing and things like that. So even being in a locker room, it sounded like I was in a locker room at the beginning of it. I mean, he was just talking and just letting you know, straight from the heart. He was just being straight real with you, and I like that. He's been straight up front, and I love his energy and things like that. So I'm gonna start putting him in my motivational personal development in the mornings and things like that. So I definitely I definitely enjoyed what he had to say, his motivation and things like that. So
And you never heard of him before.
I'd never heard of him before. No, that's my first time ever even hearing of him, listening to him and things like that. And he came off very, very aggressive, like straight up. I'm gonna just let you have it, however you want. If you don't like it, it is what it is. I like that. I like that mentality. I like that attitude. So I'm gonna put him in my personal development.
Yeah, it's Ed. So ED and then Milet, Myllett, I believe. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So just look him
Gotcha.
up. Yeah. No, thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody else? Miss Charlene.
Yeah, and I really needed to hear that. That was so good. He said persuasion, you got to believe it. Certainty is influence. Like if you're not certain, like if you look at the most influential people, they're 100% certain. You know what I mean? And that shows like in your life, you can get results in any area when you're 100% certain.
Mhm.
And pray to cultivate that certainty, right? Just hold for a minute. So I mean, it just shook me. He says, real players, like big players, they win year after year, decades versus decades, not just like sporadically. And one of the biggest things that he said is, I fight for the inches. I want to win. I want to fight for my family. And that's it. That's like, it says, and then the last thing that was like the most, so that was what stood out the most. And then, my will cannot be bought out. Right? Like, because you can get really distracted with just surviving, like paying your bills over and over and over again, and not want to be out of that comfort zone, not having that desire. Like I know that you always say like, oh, I remember one of the things that you told me was like, I could have stayed with insurances for actually my whole entire RVP all the way, right? But or at least like a couple years into RD, right? But you didn't. You got uncomfortable and you became a full-time entrepreneur, and that's what kept you growing. And to be honest, you don't really hit your peak until 5 to 7 years anyway. So once you hit 5 to 7 years, that's actually when you're like, all right, now I have this. And then the rest like scales, right? I remember one of the SVPs saying, you're just getting started at 7 years.
Yeah.
And then you're refining your skills. I'm like, dang, that's true. Because like he was like, think about people who train their kids to be professional athletes. When do you start them? You start them at like 3, 4 years old. So by the time they're like 10 years old, where they have like full, growth, now they're completely trained. They just wake up like that. That mentality. So he says, I fight for the inches. I want to win. I want to fight for my family. And then my will cannot be bought out. So decide now.
Wow. Yeah. That is so true. And, him saying that, he fights for the inches, real players, like you said, year to year, they're winning. Not just for a couple of like a year or two, and then like they're really just on it, and that's because of that certainty, and it is a training, it's a battlefield in this, really. It's really not physical for most people. Now there are some physicalities for some people, but for most people it's really just here. Yeah, I look at somebody like and I may mispronounce his last name, but Nick Vucevic. If y'all know him, he has no arms, no legs. Y'all know that. Yeah, you look at somebody like him, try to tell him his physical stature doesn't get him success. And he'll laugh at you. You'll be like, yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, you look at that, you're right. It really is about the certainty and the training that you are training yourself. So yeah. No, thank you. Anybody else?
Okay. If
Miss
nobody
Manny,
else wants to go. Hi.
Miss Manny, happy belated birthday. We said happy birthday yesterday, but you know, we tend to say happy birthday all week and all month. You know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday, Manny.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
thank you.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys.
yes.
Birthday.
Happy birthday to Jessie too. She was just
Happy
2 days
birthday.
before me.
Happy birthday to Josie too.
Happy birthday, Jesse.
Happy birthday,
Taurus
Happy birthday,
rule.
Josie.
I've been off the
Taurus
grid.
rule. I just had to put that in there, so because we believers. So,
Yes.
so a couple of things that I got from this was to, I'm gonna go back with what Charlene said, is to be 100% certain in what I'm selling, or what my brand is. So, and then also a change in approach. I think what he was saying is a lot of us go out and want to, we want people to buy our service or support us. But if we don't believe in our product, or our service, how can we expect them to do that?
Mm,
So it's kind of like, AC in your life, that kind of stuff. But when he said that, the persuasion part, I think we try to persuade people to believe that they can do the same thing that we are, but we're not really believing it in ourselves.
mm.
So for me, the change in approach in my thinking on that was be one thing that I would change, and then to be more committed to my dreams instead of casual. Because casual, what does it get you? It doesn't really get you what you need.
Not at all. Not at all.
So those were the three things, and I think that's pretty much what I'm gonna touch on.
Mm, yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. 100% certainty, strengthening your approach and, believing in it. All key. And like you said, that casual, they used to say, if you do things casual, you'll end up a casualty. That's what, a former mentor used to say. Doing
Yeah.
things casual, you end up as a casualty. And
I would add that I'd rather be an asset than a liability
yeah,
any day. So,
yes.
and I guess I'll just add one more thing. He said the extras in life dictate what you do or where you're going.
Mm,
So I'm not gonna let that.
mm.
That's one of my biggest
Ooh.
things. Like, okay, this happened. Well, that doesn't change what you plan on doing. You just gotta maneuver yourself around it and still remember, hey, in the back of my mind, this is what I committed to.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's very key. Extras in the extras. And let me tell you, that extras will take people out faster than I don't know what. And it could be extra this, extra that, extra person, extra people that you letting come in your mindset, come in your space, changing your directions. All that stuff happens. And you definitely don't gotta watch the extras, that come into your life that deter you, different things. So you're 100% right there. Yeah, no, thank you. Anybody else? Oh, go ahead, Armand, you have something?
Oh no, I love the way she spoke on the belief as well, because that's the key, is the belief. Because it doesn't matter what you're selling or how you sell it or whatever it is. If you don't believe in your product or you don't believe in yourself, they're not going to believe in it either. It doesn't matter how essential the products are or whatever. But if you don't believe in yourself or you don't believe in your product, it's not gonna work regardless. It doesn't matter what it is. So
Absolutely.
It's all about your belief level. You have to raise that for sure, and believe in yourself, and the confidence and everything else to just follow behind that.
Absolutely. And you're right. That's again, just being that certainty. Again, Manny talked about it. Charlene, we all understand that certainty is so key. You know, be certain. Yeah. Anybody else? Got something? Anybody? Y'all quiet.
I thought I heard Martin Luther King or something.
Oh, that was my.
A speech?
Anybody else?
I just want to add a little thing
Oh, go ahead.
that, yeah, about the family. That's what I'm fighting for. And last night, I really decided that I'm really gonna do this, whether there's a lot of like what do you call this? A lot of resistance coming left and right and front and back. But I have to do it because my why, I spoke with her last night and she's deteriorating badly. So
Yeah.
I have to really do this, and that's the family I'm fighting for, and that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, you know, and in seeing that, you know, if anybody's ever dealt with people, you know, close to you being ill or whatever, I'm sure we all have. Well, not everybody, to a certain degree, I would say. I'm dealing with that right now. Seeing someone who's close to me very ill, you know, and just watching it is crazy. But again, it just goes to, like you said, you're on the clock no matter what, you know.
Yeah.
It's just you got to really take that into consideration. So it's very, very powerful. Again, we say it all the time, but time is our most valuable asset. And I always look at it, you know, you guys have heard me say this. One of my favorite artists said that if we didn't have the aspect of death, we wouldn't know how serious each breath is if we didn't have death. So, you know, not to turn this into a death and all that, but
I know.
but you know, like again, y'all know what Ed was saying. He was saying was real. Like, you know, if you get to the end of your life, you don't want to have the pain of regret. Of not going, what do you say, maxing out? You know what I mean? Like giving your all. Like what do you say? You know, most people, their dreams can be bought. And if I ask every single person on this call, can your dreams be bought? If I come with $1 million, I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying that can be bought? Like, can somebody just hand you $1 million and just say, well, I'm gonna give you this $1 million to do this? And you lose out on your dreams. You just totally like looking at the $1 million and you like, oh, snap. You know, like oh, $1 million, you know what I mean? Like, but that's just what I want us to pay attention to, because that's essentially, whether it's $1 million or 60,000 a year or 70,000 a year or 100,000 a year, whatever it is, that number, or you know, or whatever it is, you gotta ask yourself if you can be bought on your destiny. So I mean, that's real.
I have to say something, JP.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that, like, when someone's buying you from your purpose, right? Like whatever your dreams are. Yeah, like if someone were like, hey, work for me for this amount of money, or like, and then you get rid of your dreams. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, it could be in different ways, not just employment, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, yeah, the most thing we think about is employment, right? They give you a salary, they buy your dreams, but there's other ways that people can steal your time and steal you away, and you don't focus because you got steered away from what your goal, that God gave you. I'll never forget, if you guys had followed Billy Graham, Billy Graham has said that too. Billy Graham said, his wife, incredible woman, but she had to
Yes.
go
Daddy,
with,
can you open this?
um, he said his wife had to understand what the vision that God gave him. And that was a big deal for her. But, so it may not just be employment. It may be other things. It may be, lack of certain things in certain areas. But yes, employment obviously is the more tangible one, because we look at it like, oh, 100,000, 200,000, or 50,000 a year, and that's it, but that's the more monetary thing. Yeah. So anybody else got something? Anybody?
I also like his comment, the cool guys go broke.
Yeah. The being too cool, too casual, like you're too casual with everything. Like, it'll work out, until it doesn't. Whatever it is, like, and, again, I'm, some of the things he was saying, of course, like, certainty is the influencer. It's very, very key. And the way I say this, this is not against anybody here, but I noticed, I'll give you an example. For me, I'm not speaking for anybody else. I'm grateful to God for him revealing to me some things in my character more than anything else, that may be slipping. Okay. More than anything else, if things in my character slip, my business will slip. My employment, if you're employed, will slip. Your relationships will slip. And I'm grateful that God really revealed some things to me. So what do I mean by this? I'm a big believer in communication. That's one of my biggest things. If I lack communication in certain areas and I see it, God is showing it to me, that is a big deal for me. And I know that I won't function normally if I don't communicate, and I see myself slipping, you know what I mean? So I know a lot of times we look at like certain things, like how we're doing our business, you know what I mean? Like how we doing our business. Maybe we're not doing the most in our business. Maybe we're not, I don't look at that so per se. I look at my character. Like, am I not, like, my energy level, what I'm giving to people, my belief, those little intangible things are what I look at. Am I treating people well, right? Am I treating my family well? Are my relationships being treated well? Am I praying for people? Am I not? Like, I look at the little things that maybe, see, because what ends up as a flood started out as a puddle, is what I'm saying. So those little things that we're thinking business, oh, I'm not calling enough people, I'm not this, I'm not doing enough presentations, I'm not doing enough exposures, I'm not doing, and those may all be true, but there's little things that I think in the character, which is why I addressed it in our call. Remember our address when we first started our RVP boot camp for the people who are in it? Did you notice I addressed time? Like, the first, like being on time and stuff. Why did I address that? Because I knew that foundation is gonna kill everything in your life if you can't honor time. So that's why I didn't even get into the teaching until we talked about that. So it's always about those little subtle things those little hidden things that you can't see, those blind spots, I call them. you got to pay attention to those. It's very important that you pay attention to them because they can creep in and spill over into other things. So anyway, that's very key to look into. I'm grateful for that. God showing me some blind spots that I still have, but I'm grateful for him showing it. Anybody else got something? Anybody? Nope. We
I'll
good?
comment on what you were saying, Mr. Thomas, as
Yes.
far as recognizing, and trying to figure it out, like with your character. I've been also listening to some other, my biggest mentor, I say, he's no longer with us, but I really like Dr. Miles Monroe.
Yes.
And he does
Very-
have, I listen to him every day. Like I cannot go without listening. I have all his, I'm even starting buying all his books.
Mhm.
And he does have a point about that. He has about, I think it's the one about things you shouldn't change or stuff like that. And character is like what he says does. Your character does influence everything you do.
Mm, mm, mm.
It does, because if you don't have the character, it doesn't matter. Yeah, today you might be, fine, but then what about tomorrow, right?
Mm.
And I think one of his things he did say, that's why he does, one of his things about he doesn't trust, blah blah blah. But it is really true, and I've been having to do search on that too, and making sure that there is no glitches. And for me, I know for me, I have an issue with, I'm just going to be honest, I have an issue with trusting people, and that is probably affecting me. I shouldn't say could, it is affecting me. And I feel like I'm learning how to be okay and understand that people are people, and that's just what they are. So they are going to be things that, they are people. They're just like you, right? They make bad decisions. It's not that they, bad people per se. It's just sometimes people make bad decisions that, affect
Yeah.
people around them or whatever. But character, that has been my homework lately.
Yes.
So I understand what you're saying on that.
Rena, I thank you by the way, Miles Monroe is one of my mentors as well. Especially on all kinds of aspects of life, because he talks about business, relationships. He does a lot. He
Everything.
talks about
Yes.
everything. He's
Yes.
and yeah, he's no longer with us. But he does talk about. In fact, I sent somebody that 2 weeks ago. It was about relationship bonds and questions. And anyway, that's a whole nother topic I got. But
Right. He makes you really, it's huge. When you start
Yeah.
going, it's like you can't stop.
Yes, yeah. So Dr. Miles Monroe definitely. But I put a quote out. If you guys may didn't see it, it was on social media. I put a quote out about 3 weeks ago, and it was a quote about that. It said, I put on there, don't let talent take you where character can't keep you. And it's so true. It starts with character. That's why people can make a lot of money, right? They can make a lot of money and don't have no character. And then they don't grow, and then they turn off people, and then they end up miserable too.
Right.
With
Right.
money,
With money. Yeah.
So it's you're right. And it's good that you, like you said, you recognize what may be a blind spot that maybe you see, and be grateful that you see it. And because it could be blinded to you and you not even see for years, so yeah, thank you.
I have a small comment
Yeah.
for you, especially with what Rena said. She said something about trust, and obviously, we're not just going to be trusting anybody, out there.
Right.
But what if
Right.
it's somebody like she trusted, in the past, like somebody that she knows and now she can no longer trust them. But
Mhm.
how do we get around that? And so Thomas, like, how do we, she's learning about character, and how she can build her character and how, we can, learn about people per se, because people are different, you know?
Absolutely.
So what would you say that we could do or learn how to trust people? Because that's a to me, it's also something for me, trust.
Right. Right. I
It's
think
a big thing, when there's a difference between, just some people you don't know, okay, like you have some discernment,
yeah.
but how can we like learn to trust or build it back, or how do we decide, oh, am I going to trust this again? Or I guess
Yeah.
maybe, do you understand what I'm?
I definitely understand. I
Yeah,
definitely
okay.
understand the question. And I think trust amongst humans, and we can get biblical with it about, the level of trust that we give people, right? They're humans. They're we're all flawed. We've all, fallen short, and all that. So I think there has to be, as we read the famous verse
Okay.
that's in the Bible, okay, and whether you believe the Bible or not, I know people that don't believe the Bible, but they come to a wedding and the scripture, the same scriptures at the wedding. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Love is patient, love is
That is
kind,
good.
no record of wrongs, right? We will read that scripture over and over again and totally just dismiss it. But it's at every wedding. I think it's been at every wedding. People quote that scripture in Corinthians. So my thing is, here's what I told my friend. This was a week ago, because she was asking me a lot of questions about love and this and that. And I said, you know what? The only way I can only explain this agape brand is I look at my shortcomings, myself, and look how the Lord has been so gracious to me in all my shortcomings. And I evaluate how, if I could say it, I suck, okay, compared to what his standards. And because of that, because I evaluate myself and how I suck, and I know that I'm not using the right word, but I'm just saying, I'm using it for a reason. If you evaluate yourself and know that you have problems and you may have hurt people, and I got to have grace on people. I love them. And I know it sounds crazy, and it may sound crazy to you on this call, but I look at how I have treated people. I look how I may treat somebody today, how I look at them a certain type of way. I look at those things. And what did I say? I look at the small things, and I'm grateful that God shows me the small things, because it's a blind spot if you don't look at them. And so I want to look at it and said, you know what? I'm flawed. This person may be flawed, but I got to love them, because I don't know what this person can be or what they will be. And, they may change. It may change for them. And now, as far as trusting them to a certain level, that's a different story. It doesn't mean you have to be like, oh, buddy all the time. And, like you pay attention to it. Don't get me wrong. You do pay attention and have wisdom in that. But you shouldn't hold bad energy. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be bad energy towards it. It should be like, you know what? God bless them. And I appreciate them. And maybe, I'll comfort them if they ever needed it, but they're not my everyday person I talk to. I'll put it that way, So anyway, I don't know.
Thank you
Can
for
I,
commenting.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Manny. Sorry, Ms. Joy. I want to let Manny, because she asked the question. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'll just make it really quick. Thank you for answering that. That actually triggered in my mind also. Mr. Thomas, like sometimes God will still will bring those people back into you because you didn't learn something from them.
Mhm.
And, you know, sometimes you can't dismiss it, even if you don't trust them, you didn't trust them in the past, or, you know, so he'll bring them back to you because he wants you to see maybe you did something. Maybe you missed something in your process of, so I appreciate you explaining that, you know, and I appreciate everybody here and what they said. I appreciate Rena as
Yeah.
well, bringing that up. So
Yeah,
thank you so much.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, for me, your last piece, and because I've been thinking about even if, even when you, for me, I'm at the point to where, okay, I'm understanding that, okay, you have that issue and how it may have affected somebody unintentionally, right? Not that you did anything wrong, it's just maybe unintentionally the way you probably you know, not in a bad way or anything, but the way that you did things, it might come off a certain way for somebody. So now I'm at the point to where if I'm leading, you know, when you say the Lord's Prayer, and he says, as we forgive those who trespass against us, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's
Absolutely.
unintentional, and I don't, you know, what I'm speaking for me, I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but again, I don't know how that particular issue that I have, how it affected the person. It may not be like a grand, all that whoopla, but it affected something, right? It affected the relationship. So I'm trying to get, it's hard when they say to ask for forgiveness when you don't feel like you don't do nothing wrong. But because
I agree.
It is very hard, but
Yep.
because I want to be that, I want to be what I want, who I think I am, right? And if I believe that I'm forgiven and I want to be forgiven, right, I have to be able to give it. So
Yeah.
I would keep that in mind.
No, thank you. And thank you for being transparent about that, because I think that that's something that we, again, it's just being honest with ourselves as human. We, you know, there's people I've heard, you know, how you said in unintentionally, I've really messed some people up. I'm gonna just be, I'll put it out there. I have messed some people up, and I don't know how deep it went. I just put it that way because I don't talk to them as much anymore. So that's my point. For us, I look at God's grace on me, and I have to reevaluate every single day his grace on me and how I messed up yesterday. And you know, and so I don't want to live my life with that negative energy, you know, like it's too much for me. And I think Rena, I think we talked about this the other day. We were talking about the negative energy, you know, like it takes a lot of stress to even think about it. Like
it do.
It's like
Can I say something real quick?
yeah, go ahead.
I have to say, like, everybody's right. And, you know, especially JT, what you just said about hurting people in the past and stuff, and you know, reflecting, especially when you're deep in your faith every day. You know, I'm a believer and very, very strong in my faith. And what I realize is that, you know, what made me happy is knowing that I'm being a better person, you know, to myself. And I just wanted to say that with that faith, you know, even though you do come across a certain way, doesn't mean that it comes, you know what I mean? Like you can come across a certain way, but you might not think it might hurt somebody or may not, but you know, I wasted so much of my life trying to please other people, and I didn't know that I was hurting myself, and I didn't know myself. So but yeah, I mean, whether you make $1 million, whether you make $100, just be happy and just be happy with yourself and knowing that you have people in your life that are there for a reason.
Yeah.
And you might not know why, but yeah, I just feel like I appreciate the Lord so much in helping me understand these decades of the everything that I've been through in my life. And I'm very grateful for him keeping me alive to know that I have a dream that I need to accomplish. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I just had to say that real quick.
No, I'm glad you spoke up about it, Jess. And I used to say this when I did insurance, and people that worked with me in insurance, I used to say this so much, so much. I used to say it. I don't work for the people. I work for him. So I think a lot of times that's where we get confused is we people please. No, are you pleasing him? Because when you pleasing him, your creator, that's what I'm doing it for. But if you start doing it for people, that's when it's a little bit of you in it. You want to feel good. You want to look good. You want to feel good to them. You like how they make you feel. And so
Yeah.
all that stuff starts coming up. And by the way, I know we're past time, guys. I know Charlene had to jump off. I don't want to take up too much time. But I'm glad you said that, Jess, because that's who we should be trying to please in our life, is our creator. Okay. And if we are trying to please him, stuff going, I just roll out because my reward is in heaven. I don't want to start preaching, but my reward is in heaven. So we don't know how long we're gonna be on this earth. So why spend it worrying about everybody else's opinions and I just worry about his opinion. Lord, did I do that right? Did I handle that right? Did I talk to them right? Lord, did I spend my money right? That right there, is that good? No, it's not. Okay, thank you for telling me. I'm gonna do better. See, that's a relationship. That's a relationship. And when you have that relationship, it spills over to all other things that you're doing. Lord, am I taking care of my body right? Am I doing this right? Like, this is my temple you given me. Am I doing this right? No, I'm not. Okay. You know what? For you, not me, for you, I'm gonna do better. See, that's the way it needs to be. And if you stick to that, I promise you'll feel more joyful in life. Okay. So with that being said, I don't want to start getting out the word. I just want to I don't know, I'm grateful for all of y'all and your input. Thank you guys for just inputting and definitely I value all your input. It sharpens me, it inspires me to be a better man, a better leader. That's why you have to be able to listen to people. And let me tell you something, I said this to Rena the other day. The people who make it in network marketing, trust me on this. If you make it to the top in a network marketing company, you can run any company because you understand people. You're dealing with a voluntary army. I can't make Manny do nothing. I can't make Jessica do anything. I can't make Rena or Jamie. You know what I'm saying? I can't make Miss Joy do anything. Okay. But if you know how to talk to people, inspire them, listen to them on their beliefs, you can do anything. Okay. And so this is part of growing yourself. You have to grow yourself to do that, though. I will say that. You got to grow yourself to be able to do that. Okay. And I got a lot of work to do, but I'm grateful that I'm working on it. So
Can I just say one last thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for Rena for giving for talking about the trust, money, and lastly Jessica, because I have a big problem with that, and I have since I was younger, and that's too long to be distrusting people, and that's keeping me from growing more, I think, in myself, because I don't trust. Somebody broke the trust, and the love is gone. Everything is gone, and I cannot get it back. Yeah. So I cannot even entertain other people, who is offering that, because I don't know if I can trust them.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Seriously, even if I try and try over the years, and I cannot find it.
Yeah.
Miss Joy,
Lost.
just do what JT told you.
Yeah.
Evaluate yourself.
Yeah.
Evaluate yourself.
But that's
And
the
then you
thing,
will
Manny.
find it.
I think it's not just him who is in fault for doing that. Maybe I did something, and I don't know what that made him do that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out. What
And it's
did
a
I
process, Ms. Joy. Again, this is not a cure-all. You know, we're on this call to just, you know,
Yeah, but-
glean from each other. And it's not a cure-all. This is not gonna be a, hey, let's quick fix. The
Yeah.
key is you take what you hear,
do?
and
Yeah.
you evaluate yourself, and then internalize it, pray about it, and then move on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We
That's
we
why I'm
all-
glad that
trust me, I
the
got things that
ladies.
I'm working on from years ago. Trust me.
Yeah.
We all get that. Like, I got things that's been plagued my mind for years. Okay, so
Yeah,
it's not gonna be quick fix today. We on a
Yeah.
personal development, and then all of a sudden we get off of here, and then we
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just they brought
No.
up trust, and that is my biggest thing.
no.
Trust.
You know what? And you know what's crazy? The Lord is speaking to you right now, just
Yeah,
telling you
right.
that you know that that's your biggest thing. So that He already know that.
Yeah, and that's why they brought it. Raina, Manny, Jesse. I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So be grateful that you understand that that is an issue. Just like Rena said, it's an issue for her. So it's okay to have that issue. That's okay. You know what I mean? All we're saying here is, how do we get past it? How do we, you know what I mean? How do we get past
Personally
it? That's all we're
develop.
saying. How do we fix that issue? Okay. So with that being said, it's 1:10, y'all. I want to respect everybody's time. You know, we still in an hour, so because we started 5 minutes late, so we over like 5
Okay.
minutes. So. But I appreciate you guys. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send this out. If anybody wants to post it, it's up to you. So what I'll do is I'll put it in a group chat or something, just so, you know, if anybody wants to relook at it, revisit it. But I don't want to put it on social media right now, for
No.
my own personal reasons. But
Yeah, me too,
yeah.
please. I have.
Yeah.
I think
So-
I said something that I shouldn't.
Well, that's
Um,
okay. Okay, we're here on this closed forum, so that's fine. But with that being said, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Take what you heard today, apply it. Okay, apply what you heard and learned today, and let's move forward and enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and then of course, if you guys need me, we'll be back. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. God
Thank
bless y'all.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.